and only podcast of Purple Pineapple Seniors, the Better Group. We're going to talk about...
Yeah.
We're going to talk about neurodivergencies, how they affect half the room, and misconceptions that the other half of the room may or may not have about Probably have, seeing as it's common.
It's actually split even.
Automatically. We've done that automatically.
Just so I not planned, by the way. That is
so
automatic.
I think we should start this. We'll go around, discuss maybe
what
personal...
neurodivergency is.
Oh yeah. So neurodivergency can be separated into two words to make it easier to make the definition easier. Neuro meaning brain, and divergence meaning difference. So neurodivergency is a brain difference. People think in different ways if you have a neurodivergency.
Pepper.
Oh my god!
I'm so sorry.
8. The main 3 neurodivergencies are dyslexia, ADHD and autism. However, there is others like OCD, etc. The dictionary definition is a bit more wordy, but I'll say it just if it makes more sense to you. A dictionary definition from Oxford Dictionary is divergence in mental or neurological function from what is considered typical or normal, frequently used to reference with autistic spectrum disorders.
It's got love heart on the cherry. Okay. Yeah, it's got love heart on the cherry.
Oh,
I think that's meant to be a highlight. Anyway, okay.
little glasses.
Oh, they do not notice the glasses, they were pretty obvious.
I thought they were like nose rings.
Sorry.
So I think first we'll just sort of go around the table, discuss our experiences with, if there's anyone sort of around us, ourselves, our family, etc. that struggles with some kind of neurodivergency.
Right, we'll start with...
What was your name? We'll start with Chris and go round. We'll say our name and then whatever experience, if we have one or not.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
Go Chris.
Wait, what do you mean?
So like...
Say your name.
Chris.
And a neurodivergency if you have one.
And if you have one, if you have experience with one, if anyone around you has experience with one.
Oh.
Meaning family.
Yeah. Or friends, I mean, if you know them that well.
You have one if you want to talk about it, you don't have to.
Wait.
Talk to the camera.
Oh, wait.
Oh, that's so much in my head.
Just be like, I'm Chris. If you want to mention it, I've got OCD.
Oh, yeah. I'm Chris and I've got OCD.
Okay. Right. I'm Lace. I have basically undiagnosed dyslexia. But also, I think my brother, he's not diagnosed, but he may have autism.
I'm Pat. I have diagnosed dyslexia.
I am Felix, and I also have diagnosed dyslexia and scotopicness. What is the plural of that?
I've got no idea.
I know, is it like
yes.
scotopia or like...
Or just
It makes it a lot more difficult when you're dyslexic and then
Yeah.
you don't that plural, doesn't it?
Tropicates.
Yeah.
Scotopia.
Speaking of things
That
that
sounds like titties.
getting us back on track.
That needs to be like dolphin bleed.
Speaking of things that that make it more difficult, we'll talk about dyslexia. The word itself. What is with that?
It's like the fear for long words is a long word.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What is it? It's like homophobia. Oh, sorry.
Homophobia is
It's like
hippocampus.
hippo something. Something.
Yeah.
Fear of long
The
words.
fear of long words. Basically, if you don't know, the fear of long words
It's
is
a word.
a really long word.
Oh, and the fear of palindromes is a palindrome.
It's a palindrome. Words that
Dyslexia
are the
is
same
different.
backwards and forwards.
Oh,
It's like race car.
Hannah. And my my
okay.
sister's birthday.
And your sister's birthday.
Yeah, she nearly got named Hannah, so then her name and her birthday would be the same thing, but my mum's got the same name as her.
Oh.
But then my mum would have the same name and it's like naming your
What?
child.
I'm so
after you.
confused.
No, it doesn't matter.
Sorry,
Anyway,
I'm on a
Off
tangent.
topic. That wasn't a cut, that was just
Oh.
Anyway, so all 3 main ones being dyslexia, ADHD, autism, sorry,
Is there a main one, or is it?
They're
just
the main
those
ones that
experience?
they're the ones that
Widely
people have,
think
are
of.
widely known. They're the ones that people think
Well,
of.
OCD is widely known. It's just
Yeah,
not
just
widely known as
as a
a
neurodivergency.
neurodivergency. It's just known as a thing.
As in-
Yeah.
You just
Other thing.
you just have a brain malfunctioning thing.
we need to console Chris a lot here.
Sorry, Chris.
So there's a lot of links between them. For example, dyslexia and ADHD and autism. To be
How
fair,
did you say the D's?
I don't know. It's because I looked down to say the letters correctly. Dyslexia, ADHD, and autism all very much share zoning out or daydreaming, as it
Why do you put
seems
it-
like,
we
because
could
it's not.
Okay.
Because what it seems like from the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, another thing that I find really cool with my dyslexia is I think in 3D images. So,
What?
That's cool.
um,
I guess.
funny scenario. My grandma has this cupboard, right? It's about that big, and she was trying to find a basket that fit, and she bought a basket that was too big and a basket that was way too small. And I went and she said this in the shop, and I went, "That one fits," and she was like, "How do you know?" And I was like, well, your cupboard's that wide, and that fits there. You got a little bit of wiggle room, and it fit with the hinge, and it did fit perfectly with the hinge.
Get someone who has
Yeah.
that one. Dyslexia. There you go.
To find sizes of things. For example, actually, on that thing,
My
on that
uncle does
note,
it too, it's
I
fine.
know the exact measurement of one of my counters at home.
Oh,
It is exactly 60 centimetres by 61.5 centimetres. I know that because I thought it was around 60 and I measured it and it was 60 by 61.5.
See, you're really good at guesstimating things, and I feel like with my dyslexia especially, I love doing woodwork and that, and it's really easy for me to do it because I can think of what I'm doing before I do it. So in my head, I've already got this 3D model, and I don't need to make a cardboard model to actually do it, and I don't need to sketch it
Yeah.
because it's already full colour, everything done.
Which is a point, which is why, so lessons like, for example, I took engineering GCSE,
Yeah.
you had to
Basically
make
what I took.
models for everything, and it could get a bit
Boring.
tedious and
Yeah.
boring because
You just want to make the thing.
Yeah.
because you just want to make the thing because you already have it in your head.
Oh, my teacher told me that I'm not allowed to have my idea in my head because we're making automatas, right?
What?
Is that
Mechanical wooden toys, right, with a handle, and you either use cogs or like sticks
in
and
the
spinny
box.
things.
Yeah, kind of.
Similar. So we're making automatas, and we've got three different ideas that we can go off.
Yeah.
So there's like a Western one, there's a zoo, and there's a circus fairground. So I decided to choose the circus fairground and immediately had the idea of doing a carousel where the horses go up and down. But apparently I'm not allowed to have the idea yet, and I'm supposed to just act like I don't have the idea.
So I think we'll talk about some misconceptions about sort of kind of things. So first of all, I'd like to say something. Stay quiet a minute because we're going to talk to these two. With dyslexia, both of you,
Okay.
what would you imagine that would be like if you were reading something?
Reading.
Well, she has undiagnosed
Yeah, but
dyslexia.
yeah, but it doesn't really affect me.
Oh.
Say you were reading. Say you had a full page of text. What do you think would happen to the words?
I hate books.
Is it when they like jump around the page?
I was just gonna say.
My point exactly. So.
That's good.
Does it not actually happen?
Hang on, no,
No,
hang on.
that's
That's
a
my
different
point. It's a misconception.
Actually,
So
that's
with-
the topic.
Is
With
it?
with dyslexia, one of the first questions that anyone will ever ask you when you're through the diagnosing process is, do the words jump around the page? They don't, by the way, they don't, they
They
don't
flip.
sprout legs and do a little dance.
They move in different ways.
This is
with
all-
the topicness and the different colours
So
correspond to that.
with dyslexia, your brain will think it is a different word to what it actually is. For for example, you know it's not that word, but you think it's that word, if that makes any sense.
Oh, yeah. So we were talking about something, and it was like community or something, and I read it as cannibalism. As it was like communalism, and I read it as cannibalism. And my friends all think it's funny, and it's just a running joke between us that I misread words or I misspell them because my brain flips some of the letters, so I mix up my B's and P's. Like when you're going up to do the B, you go up to do a B instead of going down to do a P. Worst thing if I'm trying to spell my name in lowercase letters.
Oh, that would be terrible.
Well, that's another thing. I can't spell anything in capital letters out loud.
No, neither.
I can spell it all in lowercase. I can never do it in uppercase.
If you get asked what's the 12th letter in the alphabet, most neurotypical people actually go, it's this letter.
L.
Whereas us, us dyslexics have to count the alphabet to figure it out.
Count the alphabet.
Yeah, count through the alphabet.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't name who. There's someone in our other podcast group for senior pineapples that if you tell them a letter, oh no, it's not. I'm mixing them up with someone that's just not in purple pineapple. There is someone I know that I do scouting. I met them on a young leader training. And I was talking to them, and I could give them any letter, and they could give me the letter before and after it, just like that.
No, you have to go through the whole
It was mental. But for dyslexics, and many other neurodivergencies, to be fair, it's not just dyslexia, that's a massive struggle.
Yeah.
Like, I can barely remember the alphabet as it is.
I mean, my teacher messed up the alphabet on this sheet that we got given, right? And I couldn't figure out where E had gone, and then figured out where she went wrong. So I had to go through A, B, C, D, F, H. I was like, oh no, F, G, H. See, this letters. And I was like, but there is no H. There is no H person. Because our letter corresponds to where we are on the timetable of our lesson. And I was like, there is no H. There's an E, but there's no H. And I had to do the alphabet, find out which one was missing, and it was E.
Yeah, so it can be a struggle. It takes longer to do things, which is why for most dyslexics we'll get like extra time on tests.
25%.
25%. Unless it's like massively serious, sometimes you get 50.
My mum's invigilating in one of the schools in our area, and they're like all really bad at maths. That's what she's told me. So they're like, these people have 25%, and we'll come back to you with how much that actually is.
If it's an hour long, you tend to get 15 minutes.
15 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, it tends to be 15 minutes. They just 25% is 15 minutes.
I can tell you that's a lot more annoying for college, because your exams suddenly become 8 hours long.
So they have
for some subjects. So I take criminology. Yeah. My first criminology exam was 8 hours long. So for me, it was 10 hours long.
Oh!
Because I had extra time. So for most cases, you don't have to take your extra time if you don't want it.
Oh yeah, I had to sit in that exam hall. It's freezing in our exam hall because it's like the P room, right? For an extra 45 minutes because I finished a test in half an hour. Because not only did I have half an hour of that hour left, I had another 15 minutes. Yeah. Bearing in mind I was really hungry.
That's my problem.
I started counting ceiling tiles.
Because if I get
I did that in my GCSEs.
I was there for 45 minutes and I was sat there and I was just like...
We didn't have ceiling tiles, but we had wall tiles. Because I was in the drama hall, because I got put into the smaller room of special people.
We're in rows, so like it's the special people here, and then there's a gap row, and then it's all the normal people.
Fair.
But the people who have readers, they're in a different room, because obviously that's disturbing the exam.
The guy had a reader.
Also, I got told by an exam invigilator that I couldn't get them to read one word in a question. I'm not going to ask for a reader when I only need it for one word.
If you don't have a reader, they can't read anything. It's a shame.
But it wasn't like an English test or anything, it was a science test.
Yeah, they can't read anything.
But in other tests that I've done in the exam hall, and teachers have told me that I can have singular words
that's
read out to
odd
me.
That's
Weird.
Yeah.
so talking about exam arrangements. Schools, I think, at least in the UK, don't provide enough support for any of the neurodivergencies. Really, I know the secondary school that I went to. I couldn't have coloured paper
Oh no, they're taking that
Because-
away at my school.
because apparently it was a waste of paper.
We
We got, honestly, we're
That's so
expected to have coloured lenses. Do you know how expensive it is? It's 90 quid for the initial test, and then
Yeah.
it's 70 quid for the actual lenses. I'm sorry, but they're expected.
It makes it an issue as well when you wear glasses all the time. You can't just have everything as a random colour all the time.
Exactly.
It causes issues.
But so with that secondary school that you go to, they have changed it slightly that either you have to bring your own or they give you this special book that is entirely out of colour paper and but I think it's smaller, like it's like half the size of a proper
Yeah,
book.
they have
Oh no,
the
you can
books.
get full-size coloured books.
Oh, our
That's
We
not
have
about
a-
what the school
Our school just
provides.
can't
yeah.
be bothered.
Right, so, my school, and I'll taking that away, we had brilliant resources for it. We had brilliant abilities. We got given an overlay for scotopicness. We got given coloured books. We got given help. We got tested in year 7. Stuff like that. And now they're expected to have coloured lenses because they're no longer providing coloured paper. Which is ridiculous because when you're writing on something, it is extremely difficult to read it back to yourself because a lot of pens and the cheaper pens tend to be black. And you get more in a black pack of pens than you do in a blue pack, which is stupid. And it's just... And a lot of teachers actually forget to print your sheets on coloured paper, so then you're missing out on lessons because you're having to go to the main office or go print it off yourself in a colour that you need because otherwise you can't read the sheet. And it's all well and good having an overlay, but when you're highlighting text or when you're highlighting stuff like that, you can't highlight through the overlay or write through it, and it's just really difficult. And I have argued this with my neurotypical teachers, including the head teacher actually. I had a debate with her, and she got very upset because she was the assistant.
It's good that you could talk to her in the first place, though.
Yeah.
Well, no,
I know the secondary
actually,
that I went
she
to.
literally, no, it was the assistant principal actually, and she got right in my face.
People act like neurodivergencies are a problem, and they shouldn't be treated as such because actually a lot of us can go on to do amazing things. We just do it differently.
There's a lot of dyslexic celebrities.
Many.
We should get
Actually.
a list up.
I can give you a list.
You have all that.
She's already.
I can give you one.
I think,
I'm pretty sure Jamie Oliver
yeah.
is dyslexic.
Who's that?
No idea. Just go with
And
it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, isn't Elon Musk dyslexic?
Elon Musk, I think he
Oh,
might
he's
be.
that.
I think he's something, isn't
he's
he?
the rich
A lot
guy
of people
that
have
owns
neurodivergencies.
Tesla.
Emma Watson has ADHD.
Oh yeah.
Daniel Radcliffe was dyspraxic and dyslexic, I think.
Oh yeah. I know
dyspraxia.
about dyspraxia.
Yeah, I know about this actually.
Is that
My aunt's
numbers?
dyspraxia.
Dyspraxia is movement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My family thinks
What's
I am
numbers
because
then? Because something's numbers.
And like my second-
Numbers, it's a form of dyslexia.
Yeah, they think I have that as well.
So there's a lot of funny moments that can come with things like dyslexia. Obviously, I can't comment on other things because I don't experience it. But dyslexia, for example, you know, so you'll be doing like a survey or something, just like one of them general surveys. Sometimes we'll get a survey and it'll be like, earn money from taking this survey. And you're like, yes, please. And then it turns out to never give you money. Either way, random surveys. And sometimes these, especially personality surveys, now they'll ask, are you more artistic or mathematical? Now some of you can know where I'm going with this. Every single time I've ever read that, I've read that as, are you autistic or mathematical? Which is an issue, because those two things just don't relate.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun.
A lot of things are printed black on white, right? Because it's cheaper, there's less ink, stuff like that. But if you actually just switch to a cream coloured paper or change the font. There is a specific dyslexia
It's
font.
called dyslexia.
Yeah.
Is it?
I couldn't find it on my thing.
Internet.
Cool.
You've got to download the font.
Oh.
It,
You see, that's stupid. It's not a word.
Yes.
Yeah, there's Bradrick Hand. I can read that actually. If you use
Wingdings.
that. Wingdings.
Wingdings is
is that with-
Wingdings is the font that a certain French teacher uses.
Oh yeah.
Where it basically it changes every letter into an assigned shape or picture.
Oh, I
It's
know.
not like the same letter. Like it's not like the
Yeah.
same letter as the
I know
picture.
what you're
It's,
on about.
it's not related in any kind of way. Like I'm pretty sure A is a square, and R is a little truck.
My friend's a square.
There's a tunnel.
O is a train. I think
O is a train.
F is like a police car and P is a
I like
phone call.
trains.
Don't think that.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I know what you're on
Rain.
about.
I know what you're
Oh,
about. It's fine.
So there's fonts like that. Yet Microsoft and I mean any company, no company has done it. Just doesn't put on the dyslexia font. There's also to make it easier for dyslexics, if you make half the word bold or around half the word, you can read it better. No one knows why.
Oh, I found this feature the other day and it was like, oh god, I can read that. When it was black, because normally I change my writing to blue because it's just easier with the blue writing, white background. When I've got a white book, I write in blue. But basically, I figured out that you can click this button and it changes it. So it changes the letters, and randomly you could have a capital letter in the middle of a word, or like a couple of capital letters and most of them are lowercase. But it's actually easier to read.
It's not like a font.
I know.
No, it's not a font. It's like a.
I don't think if it relates to this.
Hang on.
but-
Show me later.
No,
Yeah.
I saw that like this when they made like stop signs.
You know
and
what
stuff,
that
they
bit-
just have a first
you know
one,
what
they
the
all
bit at
just
the
made
top where
capital,
you
so
can-
it was easier to see.
You
I don't
know
think
where you
that's
can
anything
make
to
it
do
at the
with
top. I think it was on
anything.
PowerPoint actually. The bit at the top where you can click on it and it goes all capitals, title capitals,
Oh yeah.
capitals at the beginning of each word, all lowercase. There's one and it's just like a
Mix.
mix, random mix.
I'll have to look at that at some point.
I'll show you it later.
Another thing that I want to talk about isn't with dyslexia, it's with ADHD actually. There's a common misconception with ADHD that they're really sensitive. But
No,
that's
that's-
hang on. But there's a thing with it. There's a thing with it that often pairs with ADHD called RSD, rejection sensitive disorder. Yeah, it's disorder. I was trying to figure out what if it was like syndrome,
rejective
but it's a
sensitive
D.
disorder.
So,
Or syndrome.
Also, that can cause them to feel physical pain if they think they've upset you, which is weird. It's like, you know when you get a gut feeling about something, like it's a bad idea. It's kind of like that, but it physically hurts your stomach. It hurts, or you feel tense everywhere, or I feel my bones shaking like when you shake your leg, but your outside isn't shaking, your bones are, and it's weird, and you could just feel it vibrating, and it's weirdly uncomfortable. It's weird.
But
You get it in crowds too sometimes.
Yeah. So with ADHD, autism, to be fair, with some people with quite serious dyslexia, crowds can be very difficult. Not only because largely with dyslexia, it's because you can't tell what people are saying because your brain takes longer to process things. When there's massive crowds of people, you can't figure out who's talking to you, who's saying what, and
Or
what
which direction the noise
what
is coming
direction the
from.
noise is coming from and what they're saying to you, because your brain will try to take longer to process it, and then your brain starts bringing in words that other people around you have said, and then you can't figure out what they've said, and it's hard.
With ADHD, it's more like you're at a restaurant with someone and you hear everyone's conversation and you can't tune into just one of them. So you're hearing someone talk about their nan dying or someone talking about their new pet cat. Whereas you're trying to listen to that one person and you can't.
Yeah.
I recently invested in something that is really helpful with this. They're loop earplugs, and these are the
Not
engaged
sponsored.
ones. Not sponsored.
Definitely not.
Maybe
And
next time.
my ones are the engaged
They're
ones.
sponsored by B&Q.
Hopefully.
For episode 2.
And basically they drown out background noise in order to hear yourself and the person you're talking to. And one of my issues is being loud and not having volume control. And I always thought it was because I was deaf. Then I saw other ADHD people, and that's why the internet is great nowadays, because a lot of people want to document it, say what their issues are, say techniques that help them, to educate others into maybe finding they have it, or educating neurotypical people so they don't fall into these stereotypes and they break down the stereotypes, which is a great thing of the internet.
So I think we should attempt to wrap this up a bit.
Yeah.
So we are going to try and end this on a bit of a positive note.
Techniques!
We've got
Techniques.
As
That
well
was
as,
actually where I was going
yeah,
with that.
as well as loop earplugs, a lot of autistic people actually, I'm changing it to
That's
autism,
fine, it's popular.
they like, well, ADHD people do this as well. So sometimes they become non-verbal because they get overwhelmed by a load of noise or their emotions or their feelings or people around them, or basically hearing electric, hearing lights. I hear the light right now.
I hear the lights. I think everybody can hear
But
the
like
Like the ones in here I quite
But like,
Yeah.
like the ones at school,
Yeah, like
I can
this.
always hear them. I can always hear whispering behind me. I can hear everything.
noises around you.
Or like-
Someone's
yeah.
tapping on the table across the
Or
room and
like,
you can
or
hear
like,
it.
the white, or the mechanical boards they
People
use.
eating.
Yeah. We don't get that in our classes because we get yelled at and straight detention.
Wait,
Probably
what?
get
You're
it.
allowed to. But yeah, you can hear everything. So a lot of autistic people actually wear noise cancelling headphones, but don't put any music in them and just wear them over them, because a lot of people find that something in your ear is annoying. So having it over is a lot more comfier and it's good for long lasting. And another thing that helps is a comfort food. So a lot of people with ADHD, autism, I don't know if it's dyslexia, have
Sometimes.
sensory issues when it comes to food.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
For example, porridge and bread.
Mushrooms.
I like mushrooms.
Yeah.
So I don't like bread and I don't like porridge. It just makes me feel icky and gross and disgusting. And I kind of just have to force it down. And then I feel gross and disgusting. Whereas one of my comfort foods personally is a sausage roll at the moment. So I really like sausage rolls. If there was nothing else, I'd eat a sausage roll. If there was tomato soup or a sausage roll, I'd have the sausage roll.
Yeah.
Because I don't like anything with tomato in. I like tomatoes, just not anything with tomatoes in.
Yeah, can I just go back to the headphone thing? My brother, we probably think he's autistic, but I don't know if he does actually use music, but most of the time he has his headphones in. Don't know if he is listening to music or if they're just in, so that's good.
Yeah. Well, I think we've about got every topic we can think of. Can
Yeah.
anyone think of anything that they wanted to add? No? Cool.
Taking
you en-
breaks,
Taking breaks.
especially with ADHD if you're tidying something, because a lot of
Yes.
the time you work best in tidy environments.
Body
But-
doubles.
I don't know what I'm doing this.
Oh yeah, body doubling. My brain creates body doubles from like Harry Potter. Most of the
Fair.
time it's Professor Snape just stop it.
Okay, okay.
Well, we're running out of time, unfortunately,
Oh, yeah,
for
it's
today.
8:30.
We need a part 2.
Unfortunately, we're running out of time for today. We hope you enjoyed. We hope you learned something new. We hope you just
Feel educated.
felt educated, I guess. That has been us for today. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.